the schedule, because it's like Facebook doesn't let you start late if you don't start at this time, but you can change the time. It's like, well, if I can change the time, why are you so mad? Like, God,
Yeah.
like, fuck off, Meta. I don't even know what to call you anymore. Zuckerberg. We're probably gonna get kicked now for me saying that. He's probably watching us while he's smoking meats with his sweet baby rays.
Smoking meats. Oh my God. Can you hear me right now?
I can. You sound great.
Like you're frozen. I'm frozen. Like for me on the stream,
Frozone?
mid gulp. Yeah. I'm going to take a
Oh, no.
screenshot of that. Am I moving right now for you?
You are. You look great.
Okay.
I
It's
brought us
like
live too. So
I sent you a photo. It's like stuck on that for me. But as long as I'm moving, that's great.
I'll pull up the YouTube and see what the people can see. Oh, you did send me. Oh, that's a good gulp.
It is. It's just the light, Jessica. I've got like a solid like inches worth on here.
You're both moving. Beautiful. Thanks, Jessica. My hair's definitely going faster than Taylor's. You probably got another haircut, Taylor.
I should have. That would have been ideal.
It's coming in too quickly.
Travis is giving me heck for not making a thumbnail. In my defense, I'm up at 3:30. That gives me not much time to get home and make it. He dropped the show notes at noon. I need these show notes like 24 hours in advance.
Yeah, it's his fault.
It's tough.
It is 100% his fault.
Thumbnails will go up after, though. My show notes are still not loading, so you're the god right now, Kirklin. You carry me.
I'm the god? Okay. Well, hello and welcome to the GeekVerse podcast, episode 430. I am joined here with my friend Taylor Field. I am the real Hawkeye, Kirklin Patzer, and you are?
I'm the early bird, Taylor Field.
The early bird. There you go. I guess I kind of spoiled who you are. Audio listeners, I'm sorry for spoiling for you. Video listeners, you might just be looking at Taylor drinking a cup of coffee right now because apparently he was having some issues. But yes, before we get into the episode, housekeeping. Normally we let Travis do this. I don't lead the show on the housekeeping, so you're gonna have to tell me out, Taylor. What do we have coming up?
Oh, Kirkland, what don't we have coming up? I mean, we got so much. I mean, we just did a great news episode the other day.
We absolutely did.
Crossbred episode with Marvel Alliance. Yeah. That was super good for the Spider-Man.
It's like a Civil War event, but everyone was on the same team. It was great.
It was super, super good. What else is coming up? I mean, we got our website, GeekVerse.ca. Go check that out. We got social media, GeekVerseCast on our Twitter, GeekVerse on our Facebook. You know, Patreon. Jessica's shouting out the Patreon. That's true. Travis, I would like to know where the thumbnail is as well, to be honest. Go check out every Wednesday is Chucky Day. I'm pumping those Chucky episodes out.
Are you loving the show? I haven't checked out a single episode. I probably won't watch the show, but I guarantee you I will at least listen to some of your reviews because I absolutely adore your solo reviews. They're so entertaining.
Chucky's got a really wild past and very sporadic. It almost seems like certain movies will kind of cancel out other movies at times, but this show does a great job at combining every form of Chucky media into one.
Damn.
Continuing
like multiverse sort of thing.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
I highly recommend it.
No, I'm excited. Speaking of reviews, go check out our Dexter reviews. We've reviewed 2 episodes are out so far. We're going to be putting up the third one once the show's out, Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do a review shortly after. I can't remember if we put them live that night or if they're up Monday morning. Definitely check them out, though.
They're up that night, I'm pretty sure.
A lot of good discussion on those, theory crafting, what might come, and it's just weird. Dexter's back. We're going to be going into episode 3. It's still weird to me that Dexter's just on TV now, like it was many, many moons ago. So definitely go check those out. I don't really know what else I'm missing. Thanks to Jessica. She reminded us Patreon. You can get all of our stuff ad-free. Help support us put out even better and badder content. Maybe not badder. Badder in a good way is what I'm trying to say. Go on there. Manscaped. Go get your little boys nice and clean and shaved and smooth and ready for battle. Taylor once made a comment saying he's rare. What did you even say? I don't want to put words in your mouth. Do you remember what you said specifically? You're just
Like a tiger ready to fuck
yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly. You're just ready to go. So if you want to be like Taylor and support the podcast, go on Manscaped. Use the promo code GVPOD. That is GVPOD. You get you yourself. You get 20% off, free shipping worldwide. That's worldwide. That's not even domestic. Can you believe that? It's amazing. I absolutely love their stuff. Taylor loves their stuff. Travis loves their stuff. Everybody's used their stuff that I've talked to has loved their stuff. It's great, great stuff. So make sure to go check that out. Manscaped, GVPod 20% off. Taylor Field, am I missing anything?
I don't think so. You've gotten like boom, boom, boom. You aced
I wasn't
it.
expecting that. I don't know why I wasn't expecting. I had to leave that. Maybe I'm just so used to seeing Travis here, which I'm glad he's not here because I love you and I's discussion. It's always fun. It's always magical. It's snowing outside, breaking the fourth wall. It's a nice time. So let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
So let's start off. I don't even know what our main topic is. I guess Hawkeye predictions. Let's do it.
We're talking about Hawkeye?
Spoiler alert. If you're a video watcher, you would have already seen Hawkeye behind us. He looks like he's shooting at Taylor right now. I kind of like it. We got our dog Arrow. Wonder if that's gonna be his name.
The dog looks blind in one eye almost, or like he's winking, I guess, isn't he?
He is technically missing an eye. I think that's comic book accurate, and he could be winking. Maybe they're changing it for the show, but yeah. So let's just get right into it. Hawkeye predictions. Let's go. Taylor, do you have anything off the bat, or should I just go off the show notes here? You might think of something that you want to predict.
I mean, I don't have anything. I think of my own accord. I'm looking at the same predictions that you're looking at. I imagine, unless Travis sent us different emails.
He probably did. He told me what to call you, and I'm not saying that on air. So there you go. Yeah. So I guess I'll pose you the first question then. Taylor Field, I almost said Haley Field.
Haley Field.
Maybe
I'm married. I'm
Haley.
a married man already.
Sorry, Haley Steinfeld. You cannot take the name Haley Field as of yet. Haley Steinfeld, she is in the show, obviously. One of our main protagonists. Kate Bishop is her character. Are we seeing her in the very first episode?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I am 100% with you in that show. I think like the show is Hawkeye. Kate Bishop is Hawkeye. We have Clint, also Hawkeye. Your two protagonists, they got to be in the show together. First episode, right? Do you think we're gonna get her like right away, like first minute, like who do you think is the first like shot or the first character on screen?
It'll be Hawkeye. I think Clint with the family.
Clint,
obviously.
yeah.
I think that's something that we were lacking. The last time we saw Clint was Endgame, so we're gonna get a nice little bit of time, just him with the family in some shape or form. That'll be like a good amount of time, and then I think Kate will come probably like end of the episode, like the third act of that first episode.
Yeah. My mind was going like we might see. I'm team Kate. I think we're gonna be seeing Kate first. I think we'll see her just in her own, I don't know, her own setting or environment. Like I don't know what the best way to describe that is. Just like her in her own place or like world without Clint, and then maybe it goes to Clint, and then you see the two clash. I'm not saying like violent or anything like that, but I think we'll introduce both characters like on their own and then meet together. I could see it going where like what you said, like we're just following Clint and then he kind of runs into her or something like that. I don't know. I don't know specifically, but I mean to answer the question of are we seeing Kate in the first episode, I think that's a given. I think I don't know what they'd be thinking if they don't show her in the first episode, especially with just. I mean, come on, she's in the poster right here.
She's on the poster.
We're getting her.
She's literally you on this poster.
she's literally me right now. If you're a video watcher on the stream. Alrighty, great first question. Next question, Taylor Field. Will we be getting Ronin flashbacks? If you don't know, maybe I should preface this. Any audio listeners or video listeners, any listeners out there, if you are not aware. The Ronin Hawkeye is basically what we saw in Endgame. That was when he was just chopping down like what the Yakuza members. Basically, he was doing some questionable things, and he was rocking his Ronin outfit. That's where he just, I don't know, looked like a modern day assassin, and he just looked badass. I think the whole thing with that though is because like I mentioned, he was doing some questionable things, blurring the lines between good and possibly bad. It's like a vigilante route, right? Like a vigilante is not technically a good guy because he's kind of breaking the law, bringing the law into his own hands. Clint was literally like murdering people. Do you think we'll be getting Ronin flashbacks?
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for clarifying that, because I was like, how the fuck is Ronin connected, the Kree, with this?
Yes, that's why I'm here. I'm here to fill in the gaps.
Flashbacks, though, I could see it being... Yeah, I could definitely see it. Like, maybe his wife's like, what'd you get up to over the 5 years? And that slashes to a shot of him just cutting a Yakuza head off. Like, oh, not much, dear. Something like that, maybe. I think it's part of his story. We want to know more what happened in that arc. I mean, that's 5 years of his life where he was just turned into fucking serial killer. So
I don't know if I'd call him a serial killer. Would he fit that category of like murdering people? Because serial killer, what? You're killing people in the same way, or you're just killing people back to back, multiple different ways?
Well, isn't Dexter serial killer for killing?
Yes, he is.
Killers. So that would make Clint a serial killer, wouldn't he? Unless serial killer is based on like he likes to enjoy it.
I should Google what the specific definition of what a serial killer is, because you got me there. You got me. I don't know, second guessing myself here. The definition of serial killer: a person who commits a series of murders, often with no apparent motive and typically following a characteristic, predictable behavior pattern. So he's got a motive though, right? Because he's taking out
Dexter,
like bad guys.
Oh, that's tricky.
This is like a philosophical question here. They're gonna be studying this topic in criminology 101. I feel like I can't call him a serial killer because, let's just say I'm someone that's a victim of some Yakuza crime boss that's just like murdered my family or something, and then I have this gentleman, handsome guy, Clint Barton, coming there chopping him down, and then he, I don't know, frees the land of the Yakuza tyrant. Would I be calling him a serial killer? Would I be calling him a vigilante? I feel like I'd lean more vigilante, but I mean, you have some substance to that argument for sure. Serial killer. There you go.
The real predictions. Will Clint become a serial killer?
That's super dark. He teaches Kate Bishop the methods of just murdering people. It's like it literally just becomes Dexter. Yeah. Clint dies, and then it's just Kate like seeing him like Harry. If that happens, I don't know if I'd like that.
That'd be too rough. That'd be too wild.
Yeah. Maybe a what if. What if Clint Barton became Dexter? There you go. Season 2 coming to DP near you. Disney Plus near you. My gosh, that was a wild turn there. What were we even talking about? Oh yeah, the Ronin flashbacks. So I 100% agree with you. I think we will be seeing something because it was such a big chunk of his life, like that 5-year gap. And it's really briefly touched over, in Endgame. And like when Natasha meets Clint, like in that moment when they're in, I'm just going to assume it was Japan. It was a Japan, eh? When she found him,
I think so,
something like that. And like just the first time that she sees him, and you just see the emotion like on his face of just like all, and like I'm not even just talking about like him missing his family. It's just like the bad shit he's done, and like all of that must have weight on him and the character. And I'm hoping for a lot of I don't know, not necessarily PTSD, but just like just terrible memories that he has from like the terrible things that he does, and I hope that plays into the show a lot. Because I don't know, I think it would allow for a lot of good like one-on-one dialogue for Kate Bishop and Clint, just talking about like his past, what he's done, and hopefully steers Kate away from that path, like never wants to go that route. I feel like his outlook on Kate is just like, obviously he sees himself in her a lot, and I think they might hint to a couple things of her like going in that direction of like some of his more, like, sounds weird to say, but like his dark tendencies, or like just some of the sketchy things he was forced to do, yeah, so I think it's a given that we're going to see some stuff like that. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
What other MCU characters do you think we're going to be seeing? We know we're getting Yelena. You know we're getting my girl Florence Pugh in there. One half of the Pugh boys in this one. Missing you, Travis. Is there anything else in the top of your mind, like MCU wise?
I think there's a chance that Julia Louis Dreyfus could pop in here. I can't remember her. Valentine. I think there's a chance that we could see her in some shape
that's
or
a good
form.
one. Because the Yelena tie, right? She's the one that kind of drafted Yelena into the crew.
Specifically to go for Clint. So she's obviously got some kind of vendetta on him or something like that. So I think that's definitely for sure.
On that note, do you think we could see other members that she's drafted? I mean, we've only seen her technically draft. Oh my gosh, what's his name?
The U.S. agent.
Yeah, U.S. agent. Like, do you think we could see him in there? Like, he could be part of Yelena's crew of like trying to take out Clint.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
That'd be a fun crossover.
That would be a very fun crossover. I wouldn't doubt that that's something that could happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be any characters that have yet to be revealed. I think it would be characters we've already seen. So I think that kind of narrows down our trajectory of characters already so far. That being said, I don't think we'll see like Winter Soldier or Falcon or anything like that.
Oh no,
I don't think so.
I guess is not Falcon anymore.
Yeah,
Captain America.
America.
I was thinking it was a possibility that we might see Cap somewhere in this. I don't know. I think it'd be fun. Like, we know he's getting his own movie down the line, coming off his own show. I think it would be fun to just have him appear some way, shape, or form. Because I don't know, it like Cap and Hawkeye have some history, but it was technically a different Cap. I guess Clint's been around with Falcon too. Just
I've never seen them interact.
It's like the Frodo and Legolas. How they like in the entire series, all Legolas says to him is "my bow." That's like literally the only dialogue between those two characters.
That's so true.
I wonder if there's like one line that Falcon said to Clint or something. It's funny because like in my mind I'm like, of course they've interacted. Like they've been in so many movies together, but thinking back on it, has there been much dialogue between the two?
I don't think so.
Help us out, chat, if someone knows. I don't know. I just think because he is the new Cap, like he's the new leader of whatever the Avengers might be right now. I think it would be like it's definitely a pick that I want to be in the show, so that's kind of why I'm going with it. I'm not like convinced it's guaranteed to be in there. I just think it would fit for sure because we've only seen I'm trying to think, has he been in, I don't think he's been in an MCU thing since he's been Captain America. Yeah, there might be a quick scene or something I'm missing, but nonetheless, I think it would just be fun. Like, I don't need him to be a side character or anything in Hawkeye, but I would like to him to appear at some point, especially if we're talking like U.S. agent is coming in there. They have some history, so that could be a fun moment. But yeah, anyone else you can think of? I liked your picks with Val. I think that's honestly, I think I would, if I was a betting man, I'd pick that one.
Put some money on it.
Yeah. Just because the tie with Yelena, I think it fits hand in hand.
Yeah, it definitely fits. And again, we've only gotten her in the one movie shot of Black Widow. Spoilers. The other stuff was heavily more or less like the TV show. So I think Val's going to be more of a TV series kind of character for the time being.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think this is going to have more connections to, I guess, what are they called?
The Thunderbolts?
That's the one. Thunderbolts. Yes.
Yeah. It's also going to have some ties to Young Avengers, which can tie us into the next prediction. Are any of the Young Avengers going to be like set up in this? Now, we were all joking because in the chat we saw this video, or yeah, it was a photo of someone had asked Haley Steinfeld in an interview something about Young Avengers. I don't even know the whole story, but it was just such a great shot because you see her like look back at Kevin Feige, almost like if she can ask him, and like he was giving her like the death stare. It's such a good photo. If you haven't seen it, definitely Google that. But I I think there will be something like ending in that route. And I say ending in the fact that I think the show is going to be ending, like passing along the character of Kate Bishop into that direction of the Young Avengers.
Mhm.
Just because that's I feel like that's where she's going to be going, like for sure, in her next adventure. As the new Hawkeye. And I don't know. I had a lot of fun with that photo. So I think Kevin Feige, Haley Steinfeld, I think they all kind of know that that's coming. Just didn't want to pull Alfred Molina or something like that.
Definitely not.
I don't know. What about you? Do you know much about the Young Avengers? I'm pretty limited on my knowledge on them.
I honestly have no idea. I'm sure when we do, Comic Book Virgins comes around that point in time, we'll definitely get to read up on them. But other
Oh,
than that,
absolutely.
I have no clue really anything about them.
Yeah, like I all I know is like Kid Loki is in there because we were kind of
Mhm.
talking about that when that show was there, and Kid Loki, appeared at some point
Mhm.
in the show. I won't say what's the episode if you haven't seen the show. But yeah, I don't know. It's a great ensemble of characters from what I've seen, and yeah, just with the rumors and the murmurs here and there, the whispers in the shadows about the Young Avengers, I think we're definitely heading that route, and I think it just makes sense for the show to end because the way I want this show to end is like Kate Bishop being a solid Hawkeye. I think the show should really sell the viewers on Haley Steinfeld like taking the reins of the character of Hawkeye. I hope she's very charismatic, great charisma, and just like be one of those characters that we love to see on screen. Similar how everybody left the theaters on like Black Widow, just loving Yelena. Like, oh, I want more characters like that introduced in the MCU that just I mean, you can't do that with every character. I understand that, but also I think when they're sprinkling in these younger, just younger new actors that are entering the MCU, I think they should really hit the ground running in
Mhm.
that sense. And I want to have that feeling with Haley Steinfeld's Kate Bishop because I love the actress. We've been reading Hawkeye on our own time. Preparation for. Have we even promoted that we're doing CBV for that?
I
I
don't
don't know.
think so.
I don't want to spoil it. So there you go. You got a little spoiler for me. Kevin Feige's our version of Kevin Feige's gonna snipe me mid-cast here. But yeah, no, just seeing what the character of Kate Bishop is, I've really grown to just like her, and I want to love her by the end of the show. So the way I want this to end is, like I just mentioned, really like the character, and then just lead off on like wanting to see her next project. And I want it to be pretty clear. I don't want to just be like, see you next time, or like the next time baby moment. Something like that happens where I'm like, well, when are we gonna see her again? I want it to be
Mhm.
pretty clear. Yeah, that wasn't even really a prediction. That was more just my thoughts.
It's a statement.
Yeah,
You
I don't know.
declare it.
On that same route, do you have any predictions on or like wants for how the show could end or lead off into something next?
I
Can't
have
imagine we'd be getting to season 2 of this, right?
actually, I could see them maybe doing
Yeah.
a second season. Yeah, I don't feel like this is a limited run. Well, I think it would evolve. It starts off being
Ooh,
Hawkeye,
good
but maybe
word.
Hawkeye's just a title, right? So they can change that, kind of like what they did with well, they didn't call it Captain America and the Winter Soldier. They just called it Falcon and Winter Soldier. But they're titles, they're labels, so that could be passed on to Haley.
Yeah.
Uh, as far as it goes with your statement, I couldn't agree more. I do think they need to use this show to execute that transition and that setup for this new character, like what Black Widow did with Yelena.
Yeah.
It needs to
Exactly.
do a good job at selling us, because if Haley Steinfeld, which I already know, I'm sold. She's gonna do great. But in the off chance that she didn't, then it would just really, really affect this new arc they're going into. But I know it's going to be good.
It would affect me personally on my heart.
Yeah.
My heart would go. It would be like a no, never mind. I was gonna say a Grinch moment. I don't think it would quite be that intense where it shrinks down a couple sizes. um, I liked what you said though about it possibly like being more of just one season and tech like it doesn't have to just be like Hawkeye season 2. It could be something like you mentioned, evolving, like a different type of I don't know, different title, but like same sort of players. Even if I don't know, let's just lead it into our next prediction. Actually, is Clint going to survive this season of
I think
Hawkeye?
he will. He's
Yeah,
gonna live, and he's just gonna retire and be with his family. They're not gonna do him dirty. Otherwise, they would have killed him in Endgame.
yeah, yeah. I agree with you. I don't know where he's gonna like. I don't know if he's gonna retire or die off in the MCU time. Like, I don't know what his fate will be. I really don't want it to happen in the show. I know the show's centered around Hawkeye, but I don't know. I feel like a character like that, he's not he's not like a Tony Stark or anything, but I still think he's been with the franchise long enough that he deserves like a proper send off. Um,
Since
I-
Thor, it's the original Thor film.
yeah, wow, yeah, he was in the original Thor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when Thor was strolling into the
That's
Shield facility,
right.
went to get the hammer.
Yes,
He
that's
was up in the
right.
perch.
That's right.
That
And
was
then
the What If episode too,
yeah, I
where
was
he
just
actually
gonna
kills
say.
Thor.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's crazy. I thought he appeared in the Avengers, but no, you're totally right. Yeah, man, he's been around for a long time. He's one of the OGs,
Mhm.
one of at least. And I don't know. I think if they were to like send off the character in the show, it would have to be like him with his family and like just being happy. I don't know. If they killed him off in the show, I feel like that's just so dirty to do that to like Jeremy Renner and like what he's done with the character so far. Because
Mhm.
I was one of those people that really was not a fan of Hawkeye. I never really experienced him too much in the comics. Didn't really like him too much in the comics. I'm like, this guy just fucking shoots his bow and arrow. Like, I have Thor, the God of Thunder, like some major players here, but that's also what makes the character special. And I've really grown to like the character for that reason, that he is just a regular guy that, he might be a super sharpshooter, but he's just an agent at the end of the day.
Mhm.
I think that's also why I really grew to love Natasha, because I don't know, just having these really grounded characters in a world of literally like gods of thunder and like even crazier powers. You got Captain Marvel, things like that. Um, yeah, so I like her for that reason, or
Mhm.
like him for that reason, and I don't want him to die in the show. I think before we get to our next prediction,
Let's do it. Let's do it.
let's do an ad break.
Oh,
How's that? How's that
that's
for
good.
you? Yeah. And we're back. Taylor Field. That was a nice
The
long ad break.
anticipation, that was so nice.
I'm trying to lead off of what we're ending. Not really any tie-ins for if Clint will die. Taylor Field. There's been some rumors that Vincent Danfiro. I really hope Travis spelled that right, because that's what I'm going off of. Kingpin from the TV series Daredevil on Netflix. You haven't seen the show, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
He definitely didn't spell the name right.
Oh my gosh, Travis. Well, I should have assumed. I shouldn't have trusted his typing.
Well, I don't think there's many different. Oh, okay, I got it. Vincent Donofrio.
Donofrio.
He wrote Dan Firo.
I apologize to Donofrio if you're watching this. The reason I said your name wrong is because Travis butchered the notes, and we blame him for any issue that we have on the GeekVerse podcast. Anyways, he played the role of Kingpin, and there's been some rumors. I don't even know where they first appeared or the legitimacy of them. At the end of the day, they're just rumors, not confirmed, that he could be appearing in Hawkeye. I think there was even like a scooper that said like specifically what episode he was going to appear in. I don't know the legitimacy of that. I'll just say he might be in the show. You have no experience with Daredevil. Do you know like what the character is, or did you Google? Do you know what he looks like?
I know who the actor is.
Yeah. Have you seen him in something else?
I saw him in Jurassic World. He was the
He's in
InGen
Jurassic
guy.
World.
Yeah, he's the guy who wanted to get the Raptors their field test, right?
I don't remember
Yeah,
at all. Is that the first one?
Yeah, first Jurassic World.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I I guess I've seen him in that then. I thought I have only seen him play the role of Daredevil. Or sorry, the role of Daredevil. In
Role
Daredevil,
of
the role of
Daredevil.
the role of Kingpin. Do you got something?
I'm just
You'll
about to
pull it
pull
up.
up the image for
Okay.
you. Yeah, it's gonna blow your mind.
But yeah, with the so he played the character Kingpin in Daredevil. Oh my gosh, he looks so funny with hair. Oh my god, that's so right. I do remember him now. He's got a goatee and everything. I like it.
Mhm.
Um, he is very smooth in the show of Daredevil. He must have purchased some Manscaped with the GV promo code.
Oh yeah.
GV Pod 20% off worldwide shipping. Go check them out. Support the show and support your little men. But no, so I haven't finished Daredevil. Travis gives me shit for that all the time, but I've at least experienced him in the show, and I gotta say, he is so good at the character of Kingpin. He has that presence on screen that just like kind of freaks you out. And I think that like cloud of just like uneasiness is really important with the character of Kingpin. He's just so menacing, even if he's not like beating someone down. He does that. We've seen it in Multiverse. Have very brutal kills in Daredevil. So he's just such a great Kingpin, and I think it would be so great to have him. One, just to have like the actor back reprising the role. He just did such a good job with that. I know Travis is in my camp. Many other people that have seen him definitely agree with that, and I think it would be so special to have him in there. We've talked about it before, if like if it would be in the Netflix universe or if it's just going like the J.K. Simmons route where they're literally just plucking that character and he's not attached to the Tobys or anything like that. I hope they do that. There's probably a lot of great stuff from the Daredevil show that like could bring over to the MCU, but it's just I think it gets messy once you start like picking and choosing that route. So I would really prefer, and I think the more likely route is he would be just fresh the J.K. Simmons route. You haven't much experience with him other than Jurassic World. Do you have any interest, hope, or predictions that he would be in there? I know it's pretty rare for that to happen. Like we've only seen it with JK that he's been pulled. Nobody from the Marvel Netflix shows other than Charlie Cox potentially. I don't think that's confirmed or anything like that. Has been brought over from the Netflix shows, so it would be pretty rare occasion. What do you think? You liked them in Jurassic World, probably.
I liked him in Jurassic World. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely game to have him make an appearance back in. I think it's cool, and he's such an iconic character. I mean, the only other Kingpin that I have seen is the Ben Affleck's Daredevil Kingpin. So,
and the multiverse,
and the multiverse,
Spider-Verse. Sorry,
right,
I misspoke.
Right. Like
the big block one.
Shoulders,
He'll probably be a little bit smaller.
Yeah. But I'm down for it. I think it's awesome to tie that into the universe.
Yeah, I think it would fit really well in a show like this too, because he is a very renowned villain in the comic books. Like he's been kind of interacted with a lot of different characters. He's a Spider-Man villain, but also a bunch of other characters. And like, cause he's one of like a big bad without being like from another planet or something like that. Like he's just a really good crime boss villain, in my opinion. And I think he would fit so well in this type of show because we're I don't know. We're not going to be really dealing with Avengers level threats, right? I think there was a trailer that was like commenting on that fact. Avengers levels threat. It was like quotations or something. I should double check that. I guess I kind of added another prediction in there. Do you think we're going to have an Avengers level threat in this show, or is it going to be grounded?
I do feel like it'll be pretty grounded.
Yeah.
I mean, the only Avengers level threat would have been Loki. Falcon Winter Soldier, that was not Avengers level threat. I don't think this will be Avengers level threat. It just seems like it's pretty just low key, close to the chest.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I feel like a character like Kingpin would just fit so well in this because he could be very, very imposing, and he could feel like a super, super big threat when you have just characters like Hawkeye kind of interacting with him or
Mhm.
trying to take him out, because it's not like he's the one that you really have to fear. It's like the power that he has. And I always love a good mafia type villain or something like that, crime boss. I think it's just such a fun concept. It's a reason why we've seen so many forms of media talking about that, like that type of stuff, whether it's crime movie, mob movie, things like that. Um, and I don't know. I think he's just such a great actor for that role. Go check out Netflix Daredevil if you want to get a taste of the character. But I can't remember if you answered. Do you think he's going to be in this?
I do.
I know you said you want to. Yeah, you do think
Well,
so?
well, it's like maybe 15%. I think he will.
Yeah.
Not 85%, like probably unlikely, but
Yeah, I really, really want him to be in there. I think I'm like 55% positive he would be in there. So like
mhm.
not really convincing, but I think my want really adds that extra 5%, That want
if
that want factor.
if they want factor, if they slide him in here, then I feel, and it's the same, obviously same actor and everything, then I feel like that sets the precedence for people to just assume a Spider-Man, like, oh, then Charlie Cox, like the rumors got to be true for that, then, right? Then I just feel like they probably, well, if we see Kingpin, I bet you it's hard to say because one would happen to trigger the other. So if Kingpin is in this and we see him too early, then people are going to 100% suspect that this universe is now part of the MCU and that maybe Charlie Cox would be in Spider-Man based on those rumors. But then if you see, when that comes out, I feel like maybe we wouldn't see Kingpin until Spider-Man is over and done with. And then everyone can just kind of like chill out and we can kind of like retackle of that. Does that make sense? Because I feel like
Yeah.
if Spider-Man digs in that universe, then that will expose it for Hawkeye. But if Hawkeye digs in that universe, then I feel like that exposes it for Spider-Man because there's rumors for both, right? So it's just kind of a
Yeah.
tricky scenario depending on if the rumors are true and if there's leaks and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think it's pretty easy to like put a rumor on the two, because like I said, he is very well known to be a Spider-Man villain, but he's
Mhm.
not solely a Spider-Man villain. Like he interacts with so many other characters. Um yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. We both wanted to see him in there. We're not alone in that sense. Alrighty, what else do we have here? What could the end credit scene be, Taterfield? We've got them. Have we gotten them for every show? I think so, right?
I
WandaVision,
think
we
we
had
have,
it.
yeah.
WandaVision. So yeah, Loki. I think we had them for everyone. Um, but yeah. First of all, do you think we're getting one in this show?
I think we will. I think it'll be some segue to either another series or something like along those
Yeah.
lines. I don't see us not getting it.
Yeah. I wanted to say I could see something leading or like just planting some seeds for Young Avengers. Part of me still thinks that's kind of early. I could also see it being tied to I don't know, like another Val type situation. We both think that she'll definitely be in the show, and I don't think she'll just appear in the end credit scene. So I feel like maybe you'd want to save something newer. Like, I don't know, you were talking about we'll probably won't see any like brand new type characters in this show that we haven't already seen. Do you think this is where we'd get something like that? Like just hinting at something coming down the line, phase 4?
I mean, like a Guardians 2 kind of end scene with Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock, yeah. Gosh, I forget the actor's name, but just him. He like turns in his chair. It's like the exact same scene.
Well, that'd be so weird.
He's got like
Just
just
an
a
Adam
super
Warlock
purple
scene.
face. It's like
Yeah.
way more purple than it should be.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
not
I don't know
Adam
what it
Warlock.
could be. No, not Adam Warlock. No, I don't know what it could be. I do think though, if it was a new character, I mean, there's a chance. I mean, you could be right. There could be a chance that
Yeah.
they could have it in an end scene.
I think the safe pick is that we're gonna get something rather comedic, or like I don't want to say it's just purely comedic to the point where we're all like, oh, that was a waste of an end credit scene, because we've definitely seen those in the past. I think it'll be like hinting towards something that's coming, but also I think it'll still have the vibe of the show, which if the show is on the same, I don't know, feel that the trailer was like it seems like it's going to be a lot more I don't know, like lighthearted, sort of we're definitely going to be getting some Clint PSD type moments from the Ronin days. But I think overall, just because like the Christmas vibes, I think it's going to be one with like quite a bit more laughs and stuff like that. I think it'll end with the same sort of vibe, but also kind of gets you excited for something to come. I don't know what that something might be, but I think that's what the end credit would be. It would check those boxes, for lack of a better term.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all of our predictions that we have on our little show notes. Anything that you thought of while we were going off? We kind of thought of some while we were just trying to answer some other predictions.
Yeah,
Classic.
we got our toes wet a little bit. That's good.
We did, yeah. And the water was chilly.
It was super chilly.
Right on. I think now's a good time to go to another ad break then.
Oh.
And we're back. Taylor Field. Let's talk about some Spider-Man. We were talking about the Spidey, the web crawler himself, while we were talking about Kingpin. We just did our Spider-Man trailer breakdown. We have Marvel Alliance doing a nice breakdown of that. That's going to be Chris and Brent. They're going to be deep diving into that one. And that one's not even happened yet, actually, if we're breaking the fourth wall, which that's exciting.
It's happening after this, isn't it?
It is. Yes, it is.
There you go.
I wasn't sure when people were going to be listening to this, so I didn't want to say specifically, but nonetheless, here we are. So we got some Spidey news following that trailer. Mr. Tom Holland himself, he says he will not be playing Spider-Man. Or no, sorry, that was bad. Let me try that again. Tom Holland says playing Spider-Man after 30 would be embarrassing. Real or negotiation tactic? Taylor Field, to you.
I feel like that's pretty horrible to say. I feel like now Mr. Big Shot Hotshot now all of a sudden is just
he's on GQ. He's on the magazine GQ.
Where was he before this? He wasn't dating Zendaya. I can tell you that. So he wasn't on anything super big to my knowledge. So I didn't see him until he played Spider-Man, because the only thing I remember that he was in before Spider-Man was he was in that Tsunami movie with Ewan McGregor when he was like a little boy. That's all I remember. And so
was his name in the casting? Was it like Little Boy 2 or something like that? Like just super like fill in extra type casting. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
But I do think he's being a little unkind. If you were in your 30s and you're still playing Spider-Man, I think that's pretty damn awesome to play like an old age Spider-Man. And it doesn't mean you're going the route of like Daisy Ridley or like a Mark Hamill where you're stuck as that character. I just think that it's, you have a loyal fan base. You're doing great. Like, you're a big shot. He's doing other things, although I don't know if these other things are superbly great. Like, he was in that movie with Daisy Ridley. I don't think that did very well. He is in the Uncharted film, but like, what's his other career choice? What's he want to do?
Well, I know he's a dancer. He's a terrific dancer.
There you go.
He was in like a couple, I don't know what they're called, just like show and dance and something like that. I apologize to anyone that's really into that scene, but
then I feel like he needed to reward it in a sense. Like, hey, I'm not embarrassed to be an actor playing Spider-Man in my 30s, but he should reward it. Like, when I get like, I want to do acting a little bit longer, but I do have other things in my life I want to pursue, and change my career up. That's more respectable. But like, oh, I was embarrassed to be Spider-Man at 30. Oh.
He's basically just like shitting on like Andrew and Toby, if they're coming back, and we're seeing
absolutely. They're coming back like past their 30s. He's shitting on them.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see him say this at all. The way I'm kind of headcaning this is it was kind of joking, like, oh, it would be embarrassing if I was being that character, right? When in reality, it's the biggest role he's ever had. It really put him on the map, like Tara was just saying. And the things that followed, like a lot of the big roles, like I don't think he would have got Nathan Drake if it wasn't for Spider-Man. I mean, he is the fucking Spider-Man poses in that trailer. He's gonna be Peter Parker as Nathan Drake. But nonetheless, I truly want to believe that it was in like a joking manner, because yeah, it just doesn't really make sense if you're saying something like that, because it's like the biggest role. I understand as an actor, you don't want to just limit yourself to just being in a movie with like green screens and stuff. I'm sure it's not what you dreamed of, but at the end of the day, it's a huge role. And I mean, there's images of like him, like his reaction to just like fans seeing the trailer. He was like in tears. Like it's just like a really big moment. So that's why like it's kind of hard for me to like take that literally. I think it was kind of in a joking manner. Now the fact that it's like a negotiation tactic, yeah, it'd be pretty wild if he's like truly choosing to do that as a negotiation tactic. I don't know. I ain't buying it. I think it was just one of those like funny comments that you kind of throw out there, because I don't know if the stars align and MC or Marvel and Sony like figure out their Spider-Man shenanigans. I feel like we're getting Spider-Man in a month. I feel like they still don't even know what the fuck's going on between those two. And I don't know. I think if the opportunity came down for him to, be alongside his woman Zendaya again, how can you say no to that? Come on. Even if it's like a Peter B. Parker like comeback moment or something like that when he's in his 30s, got a little bigger gut or something. I think
maybe Timothy will swoop up the role. He's ready to work with Zendaya in a Superman role.
Right. That'd be so strange. They're like very similar age, I'm sure. I think he's just like the new young Peter Parker, Timothy Chalamet. Yeah, no, not my Spider-Man. Yeah. Strange little comment there, but nonetheless, here we are talking about it. So on that route, do you think Tom Holland is done with Spider-Man after this movie?
No, a part of me, and this is a very small part, believes, or at least wants to believe, that we'll actually get him in one more project and they'll somehow incorporate Miles Morales.
So Miles Morales, he's in his Spider-Verse. Right, I guess that's animated. Are you talking about like that type of, or like that specific Miles?
I wasn't specifically referring to that one, although I'd be open to it. I would just refer to the one that they reference in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh yeah, that's right. It would have been Donald Glover's like nephew, right? Yeah. I would absolutely love that. Now, like technically that would be MCU. Like if the character of Miles was like hinted at in a Marvel, like it's a Sony movie partnered with Marvel though, because it's in the MCU. Do you think it has to be in the MCU though to get that project? I personally don't think so. I think if we got that, it would be a Sony thing.
It probably would be, although I think it's negotiable because they made a deal for Spider-Man, but Miles Morales they make a deal for. I mean, I don't know how the legal contracts work there, but they could probably dub it differently than being the standard Spider-Man.
It's interesting, right? Because when you think of a Spider-Man, like anything Spider-Man, in my eyes, is owned by Sony. So that's where you're getting Venom as a Sony product. You're getting Carnage, like all of like the Spider-Man type things as him. But like with that, like if we have like a villain, let's say a villain was introduced in Spider-Man comic first, does that mean that it's owned by Sony? Or could it be one of those villains like we were just talking about, Kingpin? Could that be like a middle ground type role? Because technically Kingpin was in Daredevil in Netflix show. That's not a Sony product.
That's true. That's very interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
It's a fine line, to be honest. Yeah. I don't know how the contracts work. So that's
we'll revisit that another day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go over the bonkers contracts that Sony and Marvel have. Because I don't know, like from my perspective, I feel like if I don't know, if I was Kevin Feige and I had my Spider-Man projects, we went from Homecoming, Far From Home. We're getting, let's just call it the conclusion of the trilogy with No Way Home. I think I think I would just cash out at that point and be like, okay, I did what I wanted with the Spider-Man character. I got him in Civil War. I got the amazing moments between him and Tony in Infinity War that made fucking the whole world cry. Like you really got those main things. I feel like if you're trying to negotiate things with Sony, I'm not valuing Spider-Man that much like anymore because I already got like everything I really wanted from him. Like if I could get more, fuck yeah, I'd gobble that up because Spider-Man definitely gets people in the theaters. Like he's one of, if not the most like iconic superhero to the general audience. Might be a bold claim. I'm gonna die on that hill. He's my boy, Spider Boy, and because like if it all works out and you don't have to pull your hair when dealing with Sony, yeah, great, have him in there. But if it's really that tough and it's like, no, you know what, I got what I wanted with him, I'm done with him in the MCU. That doesn't technically mean Sony's done with him though, right? Because like money talks. Like if they give enough money Tom Holland's way, you know, that little comment about being 30 and over, if they throw him a lot of fucking dollars his way, I'm sure he'd be lacing up his spider suit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was kind of going all over there. Do you have anything to add into what I was saying?
No.
Just the MCU stuff, specifically like with if we're seeing more Miles or something like that. I guess I didn't even really specifically answer the question. I really don't think that Tom Holland is definitively finished with the role. I think it's likely that MCU he could be done. Years down the line, I don't know, maybe if the waters settle and MCU and Sony make a nice middle ground, and it just works out. But like I was saying, I don't think Kevin Feige is going to go out of his way to just have that character in the MCU because we're going forward. You know, like we're done phase 3, we're entering phase 4. We're already in phase 4 actually, and fucking Eternals, man. Eternals just like made me like forget about the entire MCU. Go check out Travis and I review for that one. You can hear how fucking much I hate that movie, but that's topic for another time. Taylor Field, do you have anything else Spider-Man related?
I don't think so. Not that I can think of.
Beautiful. Let's go to our next topic, which is, I guess it's similar to Spider-Man, actually. I've been just bouncing off.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to lead this today, but I like the chaos that I'm bringing to it. It's going to be a special episode, that's for sure. Michael Keaton, our main man, Batman 89, back as Vulture. Tune in next time to find out. Just kidding. We're going to be talking about it today. In an interview, Taylor Fields, he is confirmed. He pulled it out from Melina, I feel, which is kind of hilarious. He confirmed this week he's filming more Vulture stuff, which is just hilarious. I find it hilarious anytime that an actor just like drops these things in like a random interview, because I hear about it like third hand. I don't know what interview he was on that just like confirmed this, but he just confirmed he's filming more Vulture stuff. We were just talking about like the whole Spider-Man MCU thing. Do you think it's MCU related? And if it is, could he be that hidden Sinister Six member?
Oh, I mean,
it's a big one because he's been so hidden, you know, like from this, like if that is the case.
Yeah, I do genuinely believe that he really, really could, but I don't see him going up against Spider-Man. I feel like he's got that respect, right? For Spider-Man. I think he's one of the villains that's kind of gonna go like deter. And yeah, I don't see him coming back in the Spider-Man movie. If he does come back, I think Sony's got plans to put him in some other form with like Scorpion, something like that. Or
yeah, I mean, like, because he's in the Morbius trailer, we know he's a part of that, which is Sony Universe. I ain't buying the MCU stuff. I think it would be crazy if he was in there. I love Michael Keaton. I quite liked his Vulture. Not my favorite version of the character Vulture, but still liked it enough. I think he was a really imposing, like, just presence to the villain.
To the villain. He was quite imposing character to the villain of Kirklin just dropped out and he's back. There he is.
I need a breather. I don't know. I loved what he brought to the character, and I thought it fit really, really well with that first Spider-Man movie. And like I said, it would be like the craziest play if he actually is in the movie, because just no one's like heard about him being in there. So it would be, with how many leaks that have come out with Spider-Man like leading up to this movie, and he's just never been seen. That'd be the craziest magic play of the year. But I ain't buying it. I think he'll be like these more shots, I think that's where you're seeing him in possibly the Morbius. I don't know, more Venom stuff maybe down the line. I think he's just really going to be tied to that. And if
Vulture standalone film.
Vulture standalone film. I mean, if it's Sony, I wouldn't even doubt it. They're just doing crazy shit these days. But nonetheless, I definitely believe, that he is doing more Vulture scenes. It could even be just like more stuff with Morbius, right?
Yeah.
That could be a likely scenario, but I'm in like the under 10% believing this for an MCU thing. But yeah. Do you think it's possible, like an MCU Sony thing? Like possibly? Again, we were just kind of talking about this. Like, if he's filming more scenes, could this be possibly more MCU Sony crossover stuff? I know we were kind of just talking about this topic, so it kind of fit into there. I didn't ask you specifically like the Vulture reshoots, though.
I think it's possible. I feel like the relationship between Marvel and Sony is at the strongest as it's ever been.
You think it's the strongest?
I think it's the strongest it's ever been right now, considering, I mean, the stuff that happens, like, Venom post-credit scene kind of stuff, and what they're doing with this new contract. Things were a little shaky with Tom Holland's contract as Spider-Man between like MCU and Sony, but I feel like things have now kind of smoothened out, simmered down, and they kind of have a cohesive path going forward, incorporating Venom, incorporating Morbius, all that kind of stuff. So
fuck, I hope so. Because I personally don't think it's at the strongest it's ever been. I feel like if it was the strongest it's ever been, that would be like Civil War, like early Spider-Man. Like that would probably be the strongest. And then they just had like the break apart, and then the storm is like settling now. So it's like we're starting to get in a happy place with it. But yeah, nonetheless. Do you have anything else on this topic? It was like a DLC Spider-Man news topic. I just like snuck in there. Free LC. You don't have to pay for it.
Free LC.
INEA.
I got nothing else to add.
Beautiful. Let's hit our possibly last ad break. Probably last ad break. Let's do it right now. And we're back. We're going to be talking about some trailers here, Taylor Field. Did you watch any of these trailers?
I did.
Okay, beautiful. Is there a specific one that you want to start with?
Let's start out with, what was that one called? Turning Red.
Turning Red. That is a great choice. Very nice, happy trailer. Taylor Field, what do you think of it?
I think it looks cute. This is a movie I'm definitely going to see with Madison. Madison loves red pandas, and this is really the Red Panda movie of Red Panda movies. So
yeah, I didn't think they were that big. I thought they were more like a koala type size.
They're definitely not that big.
Okay.
They're very tiny little things.
Yeah. It's like, so this isn't like a documentary on red pandas? Yeah, no, I got similar vibes. Like while I was watching it, Shay was reading her book, but I was like, oh, I just want to call her over and have her watch this because it's from the same studio, I believe, that did Inside Out. I've actually never seen Inside Out. I've heard good things. I heard it's really good. Have you seen it? Give me a 2 second.
Inside Out, is that the one with the emotions inside?
Yeah, with the emotions.
Yeah. Okay, I saw it a long time ago.
Yeah, so not very memorable. Do you remember liking it?
I remember like memes. Well, that's it.
Always remember the memes. Yeah, I recognize the animation right away. I haven't even seen Inside Out, but once I saw that, I'm like, okay, that makes sense for sure. And I just think this looks really, really cute. It looks really, really fun. The humor was getting me like immediately. I was already like giggling to myself while I was watching it. I think it's going to be one of those that has like a lot of hidden meanings, like a lot of these great animated movies. Just this girl, like really like, it's interesting because I thought it was going to be initially like about her, like, I don't know, just becoming more confident with herself. But like right away, she seems like a very confident character. So I'm interested in seeing like the wrench that gets thrown in the cogs that kind of like breaks that apart. And then obviously she's going to be a nice, strong individual again. But I don't know. It looks like a really fun time. And we'll definitely be watching that. We don't really normally review movies like that, but who knows? I guess if enough people see it right away, it's possible we'll drop a review. Yeah. What's our next trailer? You're leading us on the trailers today.
Ooh, I'll lead. Next one, we got A Nightmare Alley.
Oh, Nightmare Alley.
This is the second trailer, mind you.
That's right.
Second trailer.
And I kind of forgot about this movie, honestly.
I did too.
Because in the show notes it says Nightmare Alley trailer 2. I read that as Nightmare Alley 2, and I'm like, what the fuck was the first movie? I don't remember this at all.
I read that too.
Yeah, I was watching the trailer, and I'm like, I forgot about this movie. That's right. Because the first trailer was like 2 months ago. Is that a normal span of time for trailers? Probably. It seems weird for me because I kind of completely forgot about this movie.
That's probably how long it was for Spider-Man, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I never forgot about Spider-Man though. I forgot about this
No,
movie.
that's true.
It has quite the cast actually. We got our boy Rocket Raccoon in there, Bradley Cooper, Kate Blanchett,
Hella and Rocket Raccoon.
Yes, they're the MCU collision. There's a couple other big names in there that I'm definitely forgetting, but nonetheless, I remember the first trailer. Like I didn't remember the movie when I started the trailer, but as I was watching the trailer, I remember that first trailer and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this one being one of those like mysterious, don't really know what's going on, thriller type shows. And I think there's going to be a couple plot twists in there that, I don't know, maybe not freak you out, but just has you guessing and on the edge of your seat. And I think this just looks really, really, really interesting. Did you see a date? I don't even remember.
I don't remember a date.
Yeah. You tell me what you're thinking. I'll look up the date.
Like first off, I love the aesthetic. Just it has like that 1960s vibe, and well, I mean, it is obviously 1960s era, so they're landing the vibe. But there's a lot of mystery, and I'm trying to figure out like what is really kind of going on. And again, I will have to watch the movie to find out. But I like that when a trailer doesn't give you enough to like follow the story, but it gives you just enough to leave you wondering a little bit more and entice you. I think that's great. And just this journey that Bradley Cooper is going through. And there's so much mystery, I feel like, with Kate Blanchett's character too, that there's a good, hearty story here, and I want to dive into it. That's right. I have a lot of questions, basically.
We even got like Dafoe in there, Willem Dafoe. Look at that.
That brief shot. Yeah.
He looks great. So yeah, this one's directed by Guillermo del Toro, which has me really excited. And it makes sense for like the vibe of it. It doesn't look like one of those, I don't know, like off the surface really scary, but as you start peeling some layers off the onion, it gets a little unnerving.
The eyes start to water.
I can't believe this is coming out this year, December 17th, the exact same day as Spider-Man. I don't know what they're thinking on that. I don't think anyone's going to be watching
Willem Dafoe's competing with Willem Dafoe.
He never loses. You know, he plays both sides. I love it. Very strange release date for that one. Unfortunately, I can't see it doing super amazing numbers wise for that reason. But nonetheless, it's on my radar for sure because, I mean, I liked all the actors that we listed off. I love Guillermo del Toro, and it looks like a movie that's not just like a carbon copy of some other movies that we've seen. Like, I think it'll be pretty interesting, but we'll not be seeing that day one because I'll be watching Spider-Man. So our next one, do we only have one left? Look at that. Pam and Tommy. Travis sent this in the chat, and I just saw it. I'm like, yeah, not interested. Well, I'm not watching this. And then of course put in the show notes. Now I gotta watch it. And I don't know how you felt, but I got really, really pumped actually while watching this trailer. I think it's just because of like the event that it's covering. Personally, I just don't really care. But once I found out like the players that are in it, I got really, really excited. I can't remember who's directing it or anything, but like we have our boy Seth Rogen in there. We have Lily James, which I think I've only seen her in Baby Driver, and she is phenomenal in that. She's the one playing Pamela, and then we got our boy Sebastian Stan playing Tommy. A couple other big names that I completely
Seth Rogen's in there.
I that was the first one I mentioned, but thanks for.
Oh, you mentioned it? Oh shit. Yeah. It's okay. You got the guy from Parks and Rec. I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah, that's right. Ron is his name in the. I'm gonna look that up. Taterfield, what do you think of this? Is this up your alley? Are you familiar like with the scandal? I mean,
I didn't know the scandal. I know like the whole ordeal and everything surrounding it. Like I didn't know much about it. Like you say Travis shared this, it completely went over my head until I saw it in the show notes and had to like go into it and look. But yeah, there's it's sex tape, but back by a few decades back in time. So
that's right. So Nick Offerman is the lad. Yes. Yeah, he is so. You've seen Parks and Rec. Yeah, no, I love that actor for that role, and I'm just like him with long hair in this alongside Seth Rogen. I think it's gonna be a really really entertaining movie, even if you don't really care about the scandal or anything like that. I think it's just gonna be so fun, and just seeing Lily James as Pamela Anderson and you got Sebastian Stan as Tommy Lee. I think like those two leads are just gonna be so fun to watch. Oh, I was completely wrong. It's a series. It's a TV series. My gosh, who
Oh,
is
I've been fooled so many times with trailers these days where it's like, oh, it's actually a series. They don't allude to it at all.
no? And then fucking Travis not putting in the show notes again, just butchering this cast. So Travis
Makes us
Snell,
look bad.
bring us down. He's doing it intentionally, yeah. So yeah, there you go, kids. It's a TV miniseries on Hulu. I don't know where else you'd watch it if you're us in the non-Americas, but we'll find it and we'll be watching it. And even if we don't do a review, we'll definitely give our thoughts on a newscast here or there. And
Mhm.
Travis isn't here, but he said he was really really pumped on this. And yeah, I think it's just going to be a really really fun time. Yeah, that's that, eh?
That's
Clear
sad.
field. Anything else? Anything I missed?
Oh gosh, what kind of news do we got? I could just shimmy in there.
Just shimmy some news.
I mean,
Got Halo
Halo.
multiplayer out.
I
Have you
was
had a chance
just
to play
thinking
that yet?
that.
Yeah.
No, after I get this episode like all like thumbnailed up and everything, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
download it because there's got a whole whack of Xbox 20th anniversary exclusive cosmetics that I want to redeem before it ends because those will expire November 22nd. I think a lot of the cosmetics will be done. So
Do you have
get
room? Thanks to Warzone. Do you have room?
I should. I legit. I'm hoping either for my birthday or for Christmas, I get a 4 terabyte external hard drive. I'm just gonna put everything over onto that because I have the 1 terabyte on the console and another 1 terabyte hard drive plugged in, but it's run out of space.
That's insane. Imagine
Yeah,
like 2002 Taylor. You like go back and you tell him it's like one day, little Taylor, you're gonna have 5 terabytes and it won't be enough.
I wouldn't believe
fucking
it.
Call of Duty.
I wouldn't believe it. I downloaded Reach the other day. It was like under 200 megabytes. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh.
It was so tiny.
Wow. And then like what's Warzone doing? Come on. They just like copy over all the files. They're doing it just to spite us these days, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, speaking of spite, you have Xbox and Sony coming together, bashing, or not, I shouldn't say bashing, but they want the Activision CEO to step down.
That's
What do you
right.
think of that?
Yes. Yeah. I kind of forgot about that today. I was talking to some people at work about that. I am very, very proud to be a supporter of Sony. I'm sure you're of Xbox of having this news because if anyone isn't aware of like what happened with Blizzard, it's like really, really bad. I know a lot of friends that have like they're hardcore like World of Warcraft players. Like they've been playing since like fucking the original vanilla, and like they've just played like it's their heroin hardcore. And then this news came out, and like they won't even touch the game because of just like the insane stories that came out. That's just like honestly, it's like unbelievable. I think they even called it like the Cosby case, which is like, ooh, you don't want to have a case after that. But like honestly, it kind of fits when you get into some of the details. I don't even want to say it because it's so terrible what happened there. And go look into that if you want to go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, no, we had your boy Phil Spencer. He do you have the quote specifically? I can pull it up if you don't.
I don't. I didn't like memorize it.
You didn't memorize it. I definitely didn't memorize it. Let's see if I can find it here.
Disturbed and deeply troubled. They're evaluating the relationship with Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, there you go. And honestly, I hope more studios do that. Like, even I don't know, like you take all like the controversy away from it. Just like Blizzard as a company, I feel like has just not put out like anything outstanding as of late. Like even before I found out about this news, I'm like, man, this company is just like it's crazy the presence that they had in the gaming community like years upon years ago, like decades ago, and now it's just like they just put out remakes of their games that aren't even that great. They're not refined. I'm talking about like the Warcraft 3 one. A lot of people have complaints with the Diablo 2 one, and just what they're doing with World of Warcraft. And then you get into like the actual like you know like the real life stuff of like the cases that have been going on of like sexually assaulting, sexually harassing like a lot of like the female workers and stuff like this. It's just despicable. And yeah, I don't feel bad for them at all. I hope a lot of people break away their ties with them. And I don't know, like I feel like something with this, they really got to be like like a rebranding type thing. Like they gotta like fully, I don't know if they want to go forward and like
Activision
wash away
Snowstorm.
Snowstorm, Tempest or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to add on it? It's a pretty crazy story. I remember just like when I first heard about it, I'm like, I can't believe this. Like, this is insane. And then you look into more some of the details, and it's like, oh my gosh, this just gets worse and worse the more layers that you peel back.
Yeah, I don't have much else to add, just except for the fact that a lot of people I've spoken to that work in the video game creating community, the environments are just so toxic and atrocious,
Yeah.
and it's just so much time for so little pay. You get disrespected, mistreated, and just put down. And I think that needs to change. I think a lot of people play the game and it stacks. So if you're building a game in a shitty work environment and then the game goes out and then you get a shitty reception for it and you are bullied online because of that, like it's just the mental toll it takes on these people. I can't even fathom how damaging it is. So I think that that whole aesthetic and vibe needs to change, that whole scene. And that being said, if you have anything along the lines of sexual harassment in any workplace, it's not okay. And if you're doing that to people trying to, creative content, people trying to bring something to life, like it's just horrible. It's absolutely atrocious. So hopefully that there is a lot more that comes to light and gets rectified for this company. And I'm glad that these head honchos like Xbox and Sony are standing up. I know we were joking earlier, like, where's Nintendo? They're just rolling along. Like they don't get into any of that kind of stuff.
They don't even know what's going on. They're like, they're in their labos. And they're like, how can we sell this? We have millions of labos products that we need to sell.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah, no, it's great. Especially, I don't know. I feel like on the surface, it's so easy to see like a video game developer company just being super like bro heavy. And if you're trying to like just incorporate a lot more diversity, getting females in there, and then you have stories like this, like it's so easy to just like not want to go into that environment. I feel like a main thing with companies, no matter the industry, you want to have a safe and like comfortable environment for your workers, and that's how you get quality products, you know. And when you hear stuff like this, I feel like, I don't know, I'm not a girl or anything, but like if I was wanting to break into the industry and then you just read a story like this, it's like, well, what else is out there, right? And it just really deters it. So I think it's really, really admirable, like these other companies that are just like, enough is enough, and they just got to like really break ties with it, because the whole, like, I'm not gonna say the whole world knows about this, but like people that are in the video gaming like community, I feel like everybody's heard about this case. So when you have big players like Phil Spencer, head of Sony, don't know his name, but just these other like big head honchos, when they make that like that legitimate like cut from them, I don't know, it puts it in, it shines the light on it, right? And I think that's where you're going to get more change, whether it's a complete rebranding of the company and they completely, because I don't know what they do to like save themselves.
I don't know either. Like game is gonna save them if that's what they're thinking.
No, exactly. And even before this, the case, the games have been shit that have come out. Like, fuck. I remember just joking about when they were showing off Overwatch 2 and they were showing off a character from Overwatch 1 and they're like, look how great they look. And I'm like, this is a joke, right? Like, this isn't real. I'm watching a parody video. No, this is literally from Blizzard, but nonetheless.
You made a great point about being deterred. This painting of Master Chief from Halo 2, there is a lady that I knew that I sent a screenshot of that scene, and she repainted the whole thing, and she was pursuing that line of work in like 3D animating and just pursuing it in like video games and stuff, because she's extremely talented. So to have someone who is extremely talented want to pursue this line of work and this career, then be deterred, I think that's just, it sucks. And again, like, that shouldn't be a thing in any workplace.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen.
And to create that kind of paranoia and fear and just stress is atrocious, because then you're losing so much talent and so many of these amazing creative designers that are not going to go into that line of work and give us great stories, great video games, great characters. Like, it's just such a horrible negative, and it's just destroying what should be a super strong and super awesome community we already have enough to deal with Call of Duty hackers, and now you got something like atrocious like this. It's just so heartbreaking.
Yeah, no, exactly. Just as human beings, this shouldn't happen in general. And then as a company, if you're deterring bright minds possibly entering the industry, like it's the users that can suffer, right? Because then we're not getting like a top quality content because it's just we don't get to see what these really creative people can actually pursue if they're too scared to even get into in like a environment like that. And I can't blame them, especially when you hear stuff like this. Like that's why it should just gonna be it should be completely it just shouldn't be a thing. Easy enough. So yeah, good news topic to bring up because that was that just today. Phil Spencer made that comment. I think it was today. Yeah. Good timing, and good timing for us because we're gonna pass this cast on to Marvel Alliance. Make sure to go check them out. They're going live, I believe, at 6 p.m. Break down some Spidey stuff and Taylor Field, lead us home. We promoted everything in the beginning.
Go home. Yeah. Just get home. Listen to the beginning of the episode for all your plugs.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be back. When are we going to be back next? I think Dexter on Sunday night. So
I completely forgot to promote, actually. Dylan Muss and I are going to be doing a Video Game Awards predictions cast on the just breaking down the nominations. We've done this, I think, every year for the last. Have we done it every year? You and
there's
I
there's always been a game.
There's always been, and cast. Dylan Muss and I are going to keep it alive. I haven't been playing too much games this year, but this is Dylan Muss's bread and butter. He's so passionate about video games. He's usually at least felt or touched one or two of these titles.
Sniffed.
And he sniffed. Yeah, he just has so much experience in the video game stuff. So I'm excited to bounce off him on some of these things. I think we're actually doing that Saturday, so that's going to be a low-key cast, lots of fun, and just talking about video games, what we think is going to happen, and make sure to check that out. Can't be there live. Make sure to check out the episode when it drops, and because I'm sure we'll be covering the Video Game Awards when that happens. I think it's December 9th is the actual show. Definitely drop the ball to promote that at the beginning of the show. But if you're still with us, we love you and thank you so much for being here. And until next time, won't be boring.
Bye-bye.